What is going on, everybody? It's the Frost, and we're here for a NXT review for last night's episode of NXT for July 10th, 2019. Tonight's show, we had the next match of the first round of the breakout tournament. We have one left to go. We also had, in the main event, another great main event of Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan versus the Street Profits, but the show started off with what everyone wanted to know. What was IO Shirai's reason for attacking Candice LeRae 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago? We start the show off, and it's just a black, like the screen is black, white Japanese letters. It's a different sound. This isn't the same IO Shirai we've known for at least a year, almost. So definitely a good start. She comes out with a black top and black jeans on. She just has no care for us or anything in the world anymore. Just comes out. She's getting that Tommaso Ciampa reception where she is getting booed heavily. There are some people in the crowd who are cheering for her. They're not chanting her name, but they're cheering. So she comes out, gets in the middle of the ring, just holds the mic there and tries to talk. This is where she gets to, it feels like Tommaso Ciampa treatment. Gets up, and they would not let her talk, or it felt like forever. Like she was in that mode, that she was in that sanctum of they do not want to hear from her. She eventually does talk and says two things. I don't need any friends, and I don't need any of you. Mic drop. That was that. She heads up to ramp, and that is all we saw for IO Shirai. So interesting to see where they take this character. Will she be more vicious, more vile, more disgusting? It does give me that feeling of Tommaso Ciampa when he came back, and I'm not mad. That's not a bad thing. Let's see where this goes. We have at least a couple weeks left of NXT taping before we get to take over Toronto. What will she factor into Toronto at all? Does not look like it, but I don't know where they're going from here. They already have their 5 matches for NXT TakeOver, unfortunately, because if it wasn't for the breakout tournament, I could easily see IO Shirai versus Candice LeRae be the 5th match at NXT TakeOver Toronto. If they want to give it a 6th match, that would be the other match I would do. But we have the 4 title matches and the breakout tournament, so that is going to be your match card for TakeOver Toronto too. So I don't know where we go with Candice LeRae and IO Shirai. It would be interesting to see if they put them on the Aftermath show, but I think that would just be a little rushing this storyline. If you can hold them off till TakeOver's War Games, that would be fine, but I don't know where we're going from here. Again, I think I made the prediction, I think last week or the week before that, when I'm talking about if Shayna Baszler was to lose to Mia Yim, probably would make a lot of people salty. But have Shayna Baszler lose to Mia Yim, Mia Yim becomes a very, very quick transitional champion, losing that title like that at the next set of tapings to IO Shirai, leading up to IO Shirai versus Candice LeRae at TakeOver War Games 2 or 3. Yeah, War Games 3. That's my prediction. If that's where they go, I could be totally wrong. We go to the back and we see a podium with the North American Championship on top of it and Velveteen Dream behind it. He asked about his next challenge, which Dream says he didn't approve that question. And then asks for somebody else, and you just get that big smile on his face. He pulls his glasses up because it's Kathy Kelly, and apparently Kathy Kelly and Velveteen Dream were actually dating, so that would be the reason for that big smile. He's asked about Roger Strong being brought up at one of the challenges for the title. He says, even though Strong got the best of him a few weeks ago, Strong isn't ready to take Dream one-on-one. Says that is all, and walks away. But somebody asking, hey Dream, can we get one more? Nothing. He's gone. When Dream says he's done, he is done. Next up was one of the more interesting acts that we saw at the last set of tapings, which is Damian Priest versus Blanco Loco. Yes, Blanco Loco. This was a squeaky squash match. There was almost nothing to it. Pretty much axe kick by Priest. He's just beating the hell out of Loco. Loco does get a punch on Priest, but that just gets Priest pissed off. Hammered with a lariat. Again, spinning kick, rolling cutter for the 1, 2, 3. He's calling the rolling cutter the Reckoning, so that is going to be his finisher, is the Reckoning. Moving on, we had Killian Dane talk about his stories of his tough upbringing and how he basically lived in martial law. He says he doesn't repress any of these stories, he carries them with a badge of honor. Dane says he wants everyone to know why he's doing the things that he does. Dane says everything he had was taken from him, and now he will take whatever he wants. So him just putting everybody on warning that when he comes back, he is going to wreak havoc and make what he did in Sanity look like child's play. Boa versus Jordan Miles, I have no idea. Let's see. ACH, which is Jordan Miles, I have never seen before. He is so full of energy. He is the male Kylie Ray. He is male Smiley Kylie. I'm just saying that right now. He was just like happy. He was like smiling. He was jumping around, bouncing around. It reminded me of Kylie Ray. I was like, holy shit, this is like what Kylie Ray would look like if she was would be like if she was a guy. I'm not saying anything bad about that. It's just that's what it felt like, is that I was watching Kylie Ray in male form. Miles looks for the handshake, but Bowen bows and smiles. Miles is like, okay, and does his bow and has a smile on his face. This match was, I don't know what it is, but it seems like Joaquin Wilde and Angel Garza put the bar for the breakout tournament so high, because last week didn't jump over that. This one for the first half of the match was Jordan Miles just, goofing off, trying to have fun in the match, and Boa trying to actually be serious. First half, like the second half of this match, when Miles started to, ramp it up, it was a much better match. But it's like that first match between Joaquin Wilde and Angel Garza was definitely, I think, the best match we've had so far. 450 splash, which Jordan Miles with a beautiful 450 splash for the 1, 2, 3 at the end of the match. Next week will be Dexter Lumis versus Bronson Reed in the final first round match in the breakout tournament. Shayna Baszler talks with media and they ask about Mia Yim calling her out. Baszler says of course she did. I have the biggest target on my shoulder, so she's not surprised. Baszler says, Yim's story is great, coming up from nothing, but she's heard it over and over again in the fighting game. Like, oh, if I didn't find this sport, I would be in jail. I've heard it so many times. It's just so cliche, which kind of it is. Baszler says whoever's in the ring with her is a story as always the same: tap, nap, and snap. Tap, nap, or snap. At the Performance Center, we see a nice monologuing video package for Keith Lee, talking about an exchange that he's been in NXT for about a year. Thinks about some of the previous opponents he's come across, although he's never been the chosen one for a promotion. They did show video footage from, I don't know where, it was from WWN Live, so it might have been Evolve or something. Although he eventually comes out on top, Lee says year one didn't go quite like he wanted to. He did come down with an injury towards the back end of year one for him, so that is why he really hasn't been doing much. He did during his feud with Dominik Dijakovic, which I hope picks back up when Dominik Dijakovic comes back, was because Dominik Dijakovic got injured and Keith Lee got injured, and it just didn't work out for the two. Year two will be different. He says he'll have to be more than limitless. He has to be infinite, and will be the main event in his second year with NXT. So he's be focused. Will we get a heel Keith Lee? That is my question. No idea. We just getting started for his year two, I guess, but definitely going to be a big question is, will we see Keith Lee be heel? Because if he's getting focused and he has to be more than limitless, he has to be infinite, will the good, fun-loving Keith Lee be gone, and if vile, mean, nasty Keith Lee be in its place? Go to outside and we see General Manager William Regal walking up, and he asks for the camera crew and the mysterious interviewer, who we don't ever see, to be out here waiting for him because he has an announcement for next week. And he's like, everybody wants to come here and face Kushida. We've seen Cassius Ohno from NXT UK. we saw Drew Gulak from 205 Live, and next week from SmackDown Live, we will have Apollo Crews. So Apollo Crews will face Kushida next week. That should be interesting. Hopefully, we can see what Apollo Crews can actually do, because kind of honestly, on Raw and SmackDown Live, you really don't get to see what he can do. I remember they tried to do that human highlight reel, like they had a little picture thing, and it was a selfie video from Apollo Crews, and he's like, "I am now officially Raw's human highlight reel." They dropped it after 2 weeks. That's not Apollo Crews' fault. It's not anyone else's fault. It's just Vince McMahon gets bored and he'll change his mind unless it's Roman Reigns. If it's not Roman Reigns or somebody he actually cares about, he'll give you an idea and then he'll just be like, "Well, we're dropping it." Next week, Adam Cole will have his first NXT Championship defense. We don't know who against. They did not name. So that is going to probably be your main event. That is actually not bad. So next week, we have the final match of the Breakout Tournament. We have Adam Cole with the NXT Championship in the first championship match after his championship celebration parade, which led him to Johnny Gargano's backyard, back neck of the woods, where he insulted a bunch of people and put a picture of himself on Gargano's dad's business wall, wall of fame. So I'm hoping we get at least one more video of that championship parade. I wish there would have been one this week, just to put a nice little bow on it with him issuing a challenge to whoever, or issuing an open challenge for next week. That would have been the way to end it, but we didn't get that. Street Profits versus Only Looking and Danny Burch. This was a good match. The Brit and Brawlers, as they've been calling Danny Burch and Only Looking. I like that name. And the fact that Danny Burch went back to NXT UK and Only Looking went to 205 Live, I'm really surprised this team is still together in NXT. I would be surprised that by the end of this year, these guys are still partners, simply because you have Only Looking working 205 Live and Danny Burch is working UK to NXT. And to split those guys up, it would not surprise me. Big time back and forth brawl between these guys. These guys left it all out there. Was it the best tag team title match that the Brit and Brawlers have had? No, that still belongs to the match with the Undisputed Era. But this one was pretty good too. Everyone is in the ring at the end of the match where they're all talking to each other, taking each other out. All four wrestlers down. Lorcan and Ford face off. Lorcan with some big chops. Ford returns, fired up with a kick. He looks to dive into Lorcan and ends up leaping over him to take out Burch onto the floor. Just Ford showing his athleticism and the fact that he is definitely main event material eventually, when they do eventually break up the Street Profits, because they're going to the main roster. You know it's going to happen. Lorcan looks for a suicide dive, but Dawkins stops him with a big uppercut punch to the face. Back in the ring, Dawkins drops Burch with a spine buster. Big frog splash by Ford. 1, 2, 3, and the Street Profits remain NXT Tag Team Champions. After the match, these guys are celebrating in the ring. Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish come out and they draw back and forth over the top of the thing. You have Ford saying, "Come on, we're champs, man. We got him right here. Come on, you want it? Come on." So those could be the next challengers. Could it be NXT TakeOver Toronto? Could it be in a couple weeks? We'll have to wait and find out. We have a couple weeks left of NXT TakeOver until NXT TakeOver. This one was a good episode, just like any other NXT, but Damian Priest, can't wait to see what this guy does in an actual non-squash match. I mean, his match with Matt Riddle late last year, or middle of last year, was pretty good. So can't wait to see what we got there. The Breakout Tournament continues next week with Bronson Reed and Loomis. So getting down to 2 weeks, I should say, then we're going to be in the semifinals, unless they want to do that differently. But NXT, again, really good show. Definitely one of the best things about NXT is that you have a terrible Monday Night Raw, a semi-decent, maybe sometimes bad episode of SmackDown Live, and then you come to Wednesdays, and it just feels so good. You don't have to sit there and be like, "Oh man, I don't know. What kind of SmackDown am I going to get? What kind of Monday Night Raw am I going to get?" It doesn't matter, because NXT is always going to give you something good. There's never that question of what's good about NXT. What's good this week? This show's always good. There's always something good on here, even if there's a squash match like Damian Priest versus Blanco Loco, whatever his name is. Definitely not a bad show. I was hoping that we could have. I see why they kept Candice LeRae off TV with the IO Shirai thing, but it wouldn't have surprised me when IO Shirai got up to the ramp. She would have came out from the back area and started beating down IO Shirai. Maybe they're saving that for another episode, just to give it another week or two. But I fully expect to see Candice LeRae once or twice more before we end this set of tapings. But hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Thank you guys all for watching yesterday's episode of SmackDown Live's review. Follow me on Twitch and Twitter at The France Club, and I'll see you guys Saturday or Sunday. Well, Saturday for Unscripted, Saturday night or Sunday morning for Fight for the Fallen review, and then of course Extreme Rules on Sunday. Until then, my name is The France, and I'll see you guys later.